Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we are going to continue our discussion on starting up a business. So in my previous videos, I had discussed about the main pillars on which any business stands on, be it your local shop in your neighborhood or maybe a multi-billion dollar business. Second, we had discussed about the market research, how you can evaluate a market to see if that market is a perfect fit for your idea or not. And in this video, we are going to discuss about different forms that your idea can take in which you can provide value to your customers. So let's get into it. So there are basically 13 points that I would like to discuss in which we'll be discussing about what kind of form that your idea can take and what are the pros and cons of each type of form. The first is product. So this is quite straightforward. You are building up a product to provide value to your customers. So you can see things, you can see these kind of businesses all around you, be it a water bottle or a book or an iPhone that companies are selling. The main benefit of these kind of businesses is the scalability. So you need to develop one product, and when you are done with the development of the product, then you can duplicate it as many times as possible, which then enables you to scale it as much as possible. So you can enter different markets, or maybe you can tweak certain features here and there of your product, and you can enter in different markets and provide value to different customers. Scalability is the main advantage when you develop any product that could help your customers with anything. You don't need a product that has to be physical. You can have some software products like, for example, Adobe. It has different softwares that are being sold to the customers, or some kind of MP3 music you can think of, that the albums of singers that you can sell direct to the customers. So these are also the products that are developed once and then put into the market and duplicated n number of times to serve as many people as possible. So second is providing service. So in simple terms, it is just helping out your customers in exchange of a fee. So providing service as a business can be becoming a virtual assistant, maybe freelancers. So the main advantage of being a service provider is that you could charge very high based on the service that you are providing. And if your service is quite niche and in high demand, so that is the plus point when it comes down to charging a high ticket price. But on the other hand, the con for providing service is that it's quite limited. So if you are the sole person in your service business, your time and energy both are finite, and you cannot scale it as much as product, which can be theoretically scaled to infinite level. So you need to put a price tag on your service so that it could reflect the time and energy that you are putting in. So third is building some kind of shared resource that can be used by multiple people at once. So a very good example for that is going to be a gym. So you are building up a gym, you got your equipments, your machines, treadmills, cycles, and all of those stuff, and you have developed a gym in your local area. And now this is a shared resource that can be used by multiple people. So here the main advantage is you have to develop a resource just once, and which can be then used by multiple people. But the con here is that it is not scalable as much as product, but you can charge up a subscription based model, and you can have people paying you for using that resource. When you are charging up for that resource, you should take care of few things, which are, you are not charging much so that people are not coming into your gym. You have to look at the local demand and what the competitors are charging. And on the other hand, you have to look at the maintenance charges. So how much you are paying for the maintenance of the machines, of the accessories that you have, and the bills that you are paying. So you have to find a sweet spot between both of these things and come up with a subscription based model for the people that people are willing to pay. So fourth is a subscription based model. So This is just providing your value to your customers in exchange of a subscription to your service. And subscription is on a regular basis. So the example that I told you, Jim, also apply here. And there are other products that you can look at, like Spotify or the YouTube Premium, in which the company or the business is providing value to the customers and are charging a fixed amount of money at a regular interval. So the main advantage of a subscription based model is that you have a steady, predictable source of income. So the only thing to take care of is that you have a low iteration rate. You should try that a least amount of people should cancel your subscription. And the only effort that you should be having towards a product or service is to keep customers as loyal as possible. So the fifth is reselling, or maybe just a resale, which you can see the most in your neighborhood. So the retail stores that you might have seen work on this model, where the retailers buy products in bulk, mostly from the wholesalers, and then mark up the prices and then sell. Now this is good for the wholesalers because the retailers buy their products in bulk and help them to sell their products. Because if we have an example of a wholesaler, let's say a farmer who sell grains, and it will be difficult for him to sell ton of grains to customers and find that much customers for sale. Rather, what he do is it sells in bulk to the retailers. The main thing to take care of is to have an good connections with the wholesalers, and you should have a manageable inventory, and you should have prices that people are willing to pay. So the next business model is leasing. So this is, in simple terms, just acquiring of an asset as a business owner. This can be some real estate or some luxury cars or some yachts, etc. And then leasing out or providing these assets to your customers for a predefined amount in exchange of a fee. The only thing to take care is that the amount that you're charging in exchange for letting your customer use your asset does covers the purchase price, also the repairs and the maintenance that will be going towards your asset. So the next business model is to make up an agency. So in simple terms, agency is just providing marketing or sales of some asset which they do not own. So for example, you can have some real estate agents or some book selling agents, so these kind of stuff. Now agents are good for sellers and buyers both. So sellers, in terms that, let's say if you're talking about some real estate agents and some customer comes up to you and provide some real estate piece that he wants to sell, and you as an agent will have some kind of list of buyers that are willing to purchase that asset, and you can provide the best value to your customers and charge up a commission or a fee in exchange of that. So the next business model is becoming an kind of influencer or maybe an audience aggregation. So in simple terms, attention is limited. So there are certain businesses that are looking for a specific set of people. So that can be based on demographics, based on interests, and these kind of things. So being an audience aggregator, you have a niche in which you specialize in, and you can sell that attention of that audience to your businesses. They can ask you to market their products to your audience and hence help them boost their business. So here the key is to charge enough so that your marketing efforts are being rewarded effectively. So the next is loan. So you can have some kind of capital with you that you can loan out to your customers. So for example, as easy as bank, you have some capital that you are lending out to your customers in exchange of periodic payments and interest. So you are making interest on your capital. So that is generally more than what you are making in your savings account. So next is providing option to your customers. So option is not just financial terms, which are in the derivatives, options, and futures, but in the business, you can provide options to your customers just as in the financial securities. So, for example, if we talk about businesses like movie theaters, so basically, you are selling tickets for a movie to your customers and you are giving them the right to see that movie. So now it is up to the customer when they have bought the ticket to actually see the movie or not. And if they have a better deal, they can go there. If not, they can obviously exercise their right on seeing the movie. So the next is providing insurance to the customers. As you might have seen with the car insurance that you have, or the health insurance, you can insure some kind of asset, and in case of some unseen circumstances, you can transfer the liability of that asset to the insurer. So let's say you have bought a car insurance and there's some accident with the car. Rather than paying out of your pocket, you can transfer this liability to your insurance provider, who in turn is going to pay for the damages. And in turn of transferring this liability, you have to pay premiums on a regular basis for a predefined time to your insurer. The next business model, which is providing capital. So this is in just simple terms providing funding to the business, to the small business owners mostly, or becoming some kind of shareholders in a large business. So this is basically providing capital to the business, and in turn you'll get the returns when the business expands, or becoming a shareholder in a public company where you can benefit from both the dividend payments, and when the company is doing good, and increase in the share price. The last business model, which is the hassle premium. So this is a business model similar to service, but here you are actually cutting down the hassle of your customers. So think of businesses like Urban Company, which provides services like cleaning services of your home, or some electricity repair. So these are the services in which people are willing to pay, because there are certain people, businesses that are cutting down their hassle. So these were the mainly 13 kind of business models that you can have when you are thinking of providing value to your customers, and you don't need to stick to any one kind of business model, but you can have different kind of business models at once, and you can have a kind of hybrid model that you can provide to people. So for example, if we are talking about Spotify, so it has a subscription based models. So Spotify is charging you per month certain amount and providing you the access to their music library, which is a shared resource, which is used by n number of people. Or if you are talking about YouTube, so in which creators have aggregated audience, and there are businesses who are willing to pay for the advertisement for certain kind of people, and YouTube have a subscription model in which you can subscribe to their ad feed product, and YouTube itself is a product that been advertised to people for their video library, which is a shared resource. So these are the kind of business models that you can adopt, given your idea and how you can provide value to the customers. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next one.